Roman numerals. What are Roman numerals? Why did Romans use I's, V's, and X's to express numerical values? Where can you find Roman numerals today? The Roman Empire had a huge influence on European culture from the 1st to the 5th centuries, and for many centuries since then. There is evidence of Roman influence in our society, from the architecture of the California state capitol and how the United States runs its government, to the numbers on a clock. But there is one thing we didn't adopt from Rome: the use of the Roman numeral system in mathematics. Instead, we use what is known as the Hindu-Arabic number system, which uses numbers, or digits, from 0 to 9. This number system is positional, or, as you may have known, a place value system. That means that the position on the number determines the unit value. For example, we know that the number 10 equals to 10 ones and not 1 1, because the 1 is in the tens place and the 0 is in the ones place. In contrast, the Roman numeral system is additive. This means the value of each symbol in the numeral is added to find the value of the entire numeral. Ancient Romans wrote the numbers from 1 to 10 using the symbols I, V, and X, or a combination of the symbols. The symbols L, C, D, and M are used for the numbers 50, 100, 500, and 1000, respectively. The number 62, for example, equals 50 plus 10 plus 1 plus 1, and is written L, X, I. There are a few exceptions to the additive properties of the Roman numeral system. Think about how you would write the number 4 in Roman numerals. You might think the numeral 4 would follow the same pattern as 1, 2, and 3 and be written as I. But the number 4 is written as IV and can be thought of as 1 before 5. Apply what you learned about the number 4 to write the number 9 in Roman numerals. Do you notice that the Roman numeral 9 is 1 before 10? In these cases, if a symbol has a smaller value than the symbol immediately to the right, then the smaller value is subtracted from the larger value. The Romans probably found IV easier to read than I, and found IX easier to read than VIII. Do you agree? Let's use what you know about addition and place value to try to find the value of the Roman numeral XX. Well, we know from the chart X is the symbol for 10, so if we have two X's, that would symbolize 10 plus 10, which is 20. Let's try another one. What about XIV? So think about our chart. You see X equals 10, and then IV is 4, so 10 plus 4 equals 14. Why did the Romans choose the symbols I, V, and X? One reason may be that humans have been counting on their fingers for thousands of years. A finger makes I, and the angled thumb looks like a V, which stands for 5, all 5 fingers on one hand. 2 crossed fingers look like an X, which stands for 10, all 10 fingers. Another reason may be the limited availability of tools in ancient times. Perhaps numerals made with straight lines were more easily engraved than numerals with rounded curves. Many buildings from the time of the Roman Empire were engraved with the date they were constructed. You might see newer buildings with these engravings too, possibly for decorative purposes. But what if Romans wanted to write numerals much bigger than the symbols to represent years? Did ancient Romans use additional symbols to denote even larger values? No. Larger numerals were written by placing a bar over the symbols. For example, VIII, with a line over it, LX equals 8,000 plus, okay, let's look at the chart. L, what's L? 50. And X represents 10. Okay, so 8,000 plus 50 plus 10. 50 plus 10, well, that's 60. So this symbol is 8,060. In 80 CE, the Roman Colosseum, the largest amphitheater at the time, was built in Rome. Like a modern sports arena, the Colosseum had many portals for people to enter and exit quickly. Above each portal is an engraved Roman numeral. Although the Colosseum has suffered damage over the years, it remains one of the most iconic examples of the use of the Roman numerals. Another use of Roman numerals, and one that cannot be easily destroyed, is the use of the numerals to number the kings and queens of the English royal family, such as Queen Elizabeth II and King Henry VIII. Numerals are also used to name other high-ranking officials, such as Pope John Paul II. Even some non-royal families have the tradition of naming a child after a relative. Do you know anyone with a numeric suffix in their name? Or could you create one? Like, have you ever heard of Mary Ann, the great math solver II? A more common modern use for Roman numerals can be found in the front of books. The introductory pages are often marked with lowercase Roman numerals such as I, V, and so on. To see them for yourselves, open a book and turn to the front pages. This use of Roman numerals is so common that you might have not even noticed the numerals were there. Can you think of another place in books where Roman numerals are used? Where else do we see Roman numerals today? Although we use the Hindu Arabic numbers more often than the Roman numerals for mathematical purposes, Roman numerals are literally engraved in our history, and they will continue to be part of the world for at least M years to come.